Well, we're loaded up and on our way to a familiar forest. That is the Sam Houston National Forest and one of our old stomping grounds, Double Lake Recreation Area. Follow us along and we'll see you there.
Yes, I'll come back to you. Then I'll ask, what have we done under the sun?
Well, hello everybody. This is Reagan, your RV traveler's voice, coming to you from wonderful Double Lake Recreation Area, Cold Spring, Texas. We made it here. We spent a few days and we're going to take you on a walk around, let you take a look at some of the campsites and some of the features here at this one of our favorite campgrounds. So stay tuned and let's walk around. Some of that will be through the raindrops, so please pardon the raindrops as we go. There's been a little bit of a showers this week, but for the most part, we've had plenty of time to get outside and enjoy the campground, enjoy the trails, do a little bike riding, do a little fishing, as well as take care of a few puzzles on the inside and a few games as well. So thanks for joining us, and we'll give you a look. And our review of the campground is going to start with these mainly tent sites, sites 1 through 23. They offer shared water, and they do have a couple of bathhouses down here, and they're near the day use area, which includes picnic tables and a swim beach and plenty of shoreline to fish. And we'll start with campsite number 1 here overlooking the lake. Campsite number 2. Number 3 has a little more slope to get down into it and not quite as good a driveway, but still facing the lake. Number 4 here, also pretty close to the lake. Number 5, a fairly large campsite here. And looking here at number 6, you do have a little water standing out front if it rains, but otherwise high and dry in your campsite. Number 7, also facing the lake. And site number 8, kind of a sister site to site number 9 we'll look at here in a moment. Both of them into this little cove. Site number 9 is also kind of hidden behind these trees here. Number 10, also a lakeside campsite. 14 offers a little tunnel through the trees here to get to your site. Excuse me, number 11 offers you a little tunnel to get through to your site. Number 12 here overlooking the lake. And site 13, another one in the woods, and it's probably the closest one to the bathhouse here, site number 13. And number 15 goes up the little hill there, and hidden away back there are your picnic table and camp pad area. And we have number 16 here, tucked here by the side of the lake. Number 17, a rather large site here, tucked neatly into the woods. Number 18 backs in here, goes down and is beside the lake. You have a little water right close to you as well, a little standing water there. And looking at 19, also backs into the woods, no nearby neighbors. Number 20 here, also nice view over the lake. 21 is another one into the woods. Number 22 is the host site here. It's temporarily closed. Site number 23 is backing up here into the woods. And the bathhouse for the area here is backed into the woods about midway down the campsites. And now we're going to make our way down to sites 24 through 65. There are a few tent sites there, and then sites 29 through 65 are your RV sites. They do have some group sites, A through F, Apple through Frank, as well as a lodge, a reservable lodge, and access to the hiking and biking trails. And we have site number 34. It does have water, 24. It does have water and electric backing here into the woods. Lots of trees to watch out for if you do have a travel trailer. Mainly pop-up or a smaller camper would fit in here nice and neatly. And site number 25, tucked away here into the woods, also a tent site. And this is site 26. Bit of an odd site. You do have the pump station there behind you, but does have a picnic table here at site number 26. Site 27 here is basically a tent site with shared water available. And site number 28, no utilities here. You do have shared water nearby. And just a quick view of the reservable lodge. If you have a large group, family gathering or something, you want to reserve it. And you'll come across a herd of deer every now and then out here. So as you see a few of those here scampering across the day use area. And you see the lake and dam in the background. And we saved the best for last. We're going to make our way into the RV and travel trailer loop in sites 29 through 65. These are a mixture of pull-through and back-end sites, some along the waterfront, lots in the woods, some wide open, some tightly spaced, and some with full hookups, as well as those at a minimum with 30 and 50 amp, 20, 30, and 50 amp electricity and water hookups. And we'll point out those with full hookups here at the beginning of the loop. And then we'll take a look at each of the sites. So let's take a walk. And the first site we come upon here is site number 29. Pull-through site. It does have some trees to start with, and it does have full hookups here, site 29. And the first site on the inside of the loop is site number 30. It is the camp host site, number 30. And the second site here on the inside, this is site 31. Also a full hookup site, nice level back end site. Back in here into the woods. No neighbors behind you. Out front, you're kind of wide open to the road. Looking back on site 30 as well. Site number 31. 32 here on the outside of the loop takes you to another one of the long pull-through sites with your picnic table there on your campsite, fire ring, and full hookups. Just across from 32, you'll find 33, back-end site that is full hookup site as well, with your fire ring behind you and your picnic table there out front. A little closer to the road here at 33. We'll make our way on to 34 and 35, a true double site. Has two sets of hookups and the picnic tables there pulled together. Long back end site to 34, as well as a long back end site to 35. And their driveways are joined as they're here out kind of looking over the road. Sites 34 and 35. And just across from 35, you'll find the entrance to another very long pull-through site, number 36. Another of these full hookup sites. It is pretty much out in the open. You are facing into the woods though. And I will point out that right here between 35 and 36, this little pathway, this pathway takes you to the first bathhouse, which we'll take a look at shortly. Now we're overlooking another set of buddy sites here. This is 37 and 38. They do slope pretty good from the road back down into each of your camper pad areas. Both have the picnic tables behind each of the rigs. They do have full hookups here at this buddy site 37 and 38. And just past 38 as well, you'll find another of these paved walking paths, paved walking paths to the restroom facility, which is hidden back there in the woods, restroom and shower house. 39, continuing with the full hookup sites and another long pull through. And it is kind of out in the open as well. You get lots of sun in the afternoon. Of course, in the evening, the sun will bring you plenty of shade from these trees. Site 39. And looking just across the road from 39, you'll find another back end site that's pretty wide open here to the road for your camp area. Full hookups here at site 40. And we're looking at site 41 here as we start to round the corner on our loop here. 41, a wide open site to the road. You do have plenty of shade as you're back in there from the morning sun. Otherwise, you're kind of wide open to the road. 41, a full hookup 42 site. Is occupied by a host here, a long level back end site with full hookups. And your camp area there is out into the woods at this host site 42. I'll show you a little more detail on this one, given that this is not always occupied by a host. So you can kind of see where your picnic table is there, out secluded. And 43 here, another long back end site, another secluded site with full hookups. So long, fairly level, all the way back in here at 43. Making our way on around the curve here on the loop, 44. Back inside in the woods, no nearby neighbors, but as well, no sewer hookups. So we're now into the water and electric only, 20, 30, 50 amp water electric. Site 44. There'll only be one more full hookup site on the loop, and we'll point that one out to you when we get to it. So the rest are water and electric only. 45, a nice and secluded, shady, full shade site here. Back in with your picnic table out the campsite and the tent pad behind your rig parking spot. And we're here at site 46. This is our site on the outside of the loop. A long, fairly level back end site, about 2 to 3 inches low left to right, but we've backed in neatly, and it is tucked in here with long ways away from your nearest neighbor. And we're here on the corner, and there's no neighbors out in front of us. There is a parking area down here with access to the lake trail, but I've never seen a car parked here. And we'll show you a little more detail 46, since this is our campsite. Aside from being a long back end site, you really have no nearby neighbors on either side, and actually no neighbors at all out the campsite here, as you're faced into the woods, and it is fully shaded. So summertime, you're going to get shade all day long here in site number 46 with picnic table, fire ring, and plenty of room to roam out into the woods here at 46. And just past 46, as we mentioned, is the access to the Lakeshore Trail, and this trail goes all the way around the lake. It's about a 3/4 mile walk, up to a mile depending upon what detours you take. On the inside of the loop here, on the left side as we're going on around 47, pretty good slope from back to front, downward slope down to the road here. And this side here is kind of here on the corner, and no nearby neighbors. Site 47. Sites 48 and 49 are, I call them sister sites here. You could call these double sites, although you can reserve them individually. 2 back end sites, slightly upward slope to back into these. But you are back in the woods, and this will be a good place to have friends come and join you here at 48 and 49. On the outside, we have site number 50. It does have a little bit of a downward slope getting into it, but you're all by yourself here. No nearby neighbors on either side of you here at site number 50. And the next site here, 51. Nice secluded site as well. Backing into the woods on the lake side of the road here. And just across from 51, you'll find the first bathhouse. Generally, these have a couple of restroom facilities, handicap restroom, as well as one shower in each the ladies and men's sides. And this next site, 52, here on the wood side, also close to the bathhouse. So here's the access road for the bathhouse. And this is site number 52. Site 53 is where you start to see the lake there behind you. And there's plenty of water in the lake, so you have a good view of the lake, although it is mostly lily pad and moss covered right now. But this site 53 has a pretty good upslope to get back into it, and then a little bit of a slope from the passenger side over to the driver's side. And just across from 53, you'll find 54, this pull-through site on the inside of the loop. 55 is another of the back end sites. Also a good view of the lake, and there's your tent pad there behind you with the picnic table directly behind where you park your rig. And we come to another of the back end buddy sites, 56 and 57 on the inside of this loop. Kind of wide open sites with the picnic tables there shared together, so this would be a great set of shared sites here at 57 and 56. '58, also a nice secluded, long, fairly level, although a little bit of water does stand there on your tent pad, but really nice site here in the woods. Secluded, not too close to any neighbors on either side. We come up on 59, probably one of my favorite sites just because it is on the lakeside. You have a nice view, easy access to the lake behind you, and it's tucked in here in the woods, and your neighbors aren't too close. And in fact, none out your campsite area of your campsite. And just across from 59 is the entrance to this long pull-through site, site number 60 on the inside of the loop. As we come up on 61 here, a little narrow back-end site, but it is another one of mine as far as favorite views go. The only challenge, and we've camped here before, is it is fairly tight between the trees to try and get your slide out on the driver's side as well as get your canopy out on the passenger side. So just be aware of that. It was a little narrow. We made it work for a week here, and we love the view here at 61. 62, another of the back-end sites on the lake side. Nice little walkway down to the lake as well here at 62. And just past 62 and across from 63, right next to 64, you'll find the second bathhouse here. Easy access. And directly across from the bathhouse, you'll find 63. Nice little back-end site. We've backed our rig in here before. The only, I'll call it negative or downside, is your picnic table and tent pad are directly behind the rig. But it does give you a nice, easy access down to the trail and the trail around the lake, and easy access to the lake here at 63. 64 is a little upsloped back-end site. And this is the last one that has full hookups, and mainly they've got it reserved for I think a camp host soon, but if it's reservable, this one's a nice tucked in the woods right next to the bathhouse as well. A little bit of an upslope to get in, but not too bad of a site here with full hookups. Yeah, it's 64. And just past 64, you will find another access point to the Lakeshore Trail. Just down that trail, you'll run into the trail that gives makes a circumference around the lake. And we'll wrap up our look at all the campsites with a look at 65, a bit of a slope to back up in there, and a slope from back to front here on the corner. Not really near any neighbors though. You have a nice wide open space behind you as well. Well, good morning, everybody. We're wrapping everything up here at Double Lake Recreation Area. It's been a great week. We hope you've enjoyed the walk around and sharing in some of our adventures here. If you're ever in the area of Cold Spring, just a short 20-minute drive off of I-45, just north of Houston, this is a place to stop over or spend a few days. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you down the road. Happy camping.